Hi, this is Holly with Presence Point and another Shepherds in Action video series. And I've just got to tell you that I'm here, it's a little bit different because I'm here today with Fred Rogers, but as you probably know, Fred's been gone for about 15 years. But we saw this really cool documentary last night, Won't You Be My Neighbor? And so I am just compelled today to do a Shepherd in Action segment on Fred, because as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking this man shepherded like very few people ever do, and he did it sometimes right up front and close and personal, and sometimes through a television camera, right, and hundreds or thousands of miles away. I love what somebody said. They said that if you took all the elements that made great television and then did exactly the opposite, you'd have Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And I thought that was just perfect because that's how it always felt. He was different than everybody else. And maybe the love he had for Christ, maybe his ministerial background, maybe his real desire to shepherd children is what caused that to be that way, different than the entire rest of the world. Here's what he did. He recognized children for their full and complete selves, treating them with compassion and seriousness. How often do we not do that with our kids? And he dealt with hard issues, even though there were little ones watching, and those included prejudice and divorce and death. And at 9/11, he came back and did a special week of programming and talked about the importance of joy and light, hope, faith, pardon, and love. And that's really what he was all about, was the love he offered to children and to other people just in general. So he reminded me very much of Proverbs 25:11. A word aptly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. A word aptly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. And I think that's Fred Rogers. One of his favorite quotes when I looked it up today was this one: "How sad it is that we give up on people who are just like us." How often do we as shepherds give up on people that work for us or who are family members or who we know in a church environment or a home environment or just in life? We give up on them, and the reality is they're just like us. They're as broken as we are. They're as hurting as we are. But God didn't call us to shepherd only those who were the easy people to live with and the people that did it all right. He really called us to shepherd and love everybody around us. So what I especially want to make sure we end this with is just how beautifully and how close Fred Rogers talked to people. If you just watch the documentary or you watch him in action with somebody, Yo-Yo Ma was on his show years and years ago, and he said, Yo-Yo Ma said he got within 3 inches of his face, and he was so uncomfortable, but it's because he really wanted to hear him. And I think it's pretty sweet that the producer of this documentary is Yo-Yo Ma's son, Nicholas Ma. So how cool it is that the shepherding that's happened from Fred Rogers to Yo-Yo Ma the cellist to thousands of children all over, hopefully the world eventually, is now demonstrated through what his son Nicholas did in this documentary. So we encourage you to see it, but mostly we encourage you to shepherd like Fred did. So bless you, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to live into your calling.